Have I done it? Am I coming through? Oh, transmission complete. Oh, I'm so pleased. Welcome, Assistant Extraordinaire to the Great Magic Robot. I am coming to you, give you a very important message today. But first of all, I'm most pleased to be wearing a hat. Magic Robot thinks that I'm silly with my fascination with hats, seeing as we have no sun here. But fiddle-dee-dee, pay no mind. What is most important today is that I get to bring to you a message about the tragic flaw in our programming, probably the most important message of this entire series. And what is most important and wonderful to me is I get to do a magic trick. This is my chalkboard, and here I'm going to demonstrate the flaw. The one great thing that the magic robot continues to forget is that we humans are not made of metal. No, we are not. We are made of meat. We do not have the simple cogatry that the magic robot is made from. Let me demonstrate. In your usual setup, you have a sensory program that begins in the very top. This is our sensory programs: eyes, ears, sense of smell. And through that sensory program, we hope to then send good, pure messages down to our emotional center, down in the nether regions, in the guts, otherwise known as getting a gut feeling, emotions. Now, what happens is if we receive messages from the top here that say things like, the world is unsafe, it begins to bend. Saying things like, we're not worthy, begins to bend. And before you know it, begins to bend inward. The magic robot doesn't understand this because he doesn't bend. Being made out of meat, we always find a way. So the human begin to bend and bend and bend. And eventually, all of this information will start to flow through an artificial process, independent of the emotions. Now, granted, we will still get some messages, very strong messages, things that compound and then bypass this process. Things like anger, hatred, things that well up inside of you, and your body has no choice but to force it out. As you can see, what we're working with here is very drab circuitry, very in and out, up and down, without the emotional effect. And actually, in this process, this very limited, very focused idea of what the human experience is, there is a lot of dullness there, and you're not actually retaining very much at the same time. Because what humans do is every memory is imprinted with an emotional stamp. And when this is what your emotional stamp is capable of, it's very limited. So what is very important is we are going to, through our exercises, eventually pull back some of the connection, this pseudo connection, and eventually streamline it back to this channel. By recognizing the emotions and processing them correctly, and then back up in to the receptive centers of the body. And then what happens is that you will find that you become even more receptive to things like love, to things like accomplishment, so live your life with more color, and even more importantly, magic. And now a challenge. I would like to challenge you to, on a daily basis, think of 5 things, just like the fingers of the hand. 5 emotions, pure emotions, that you come in contact in every single day. What I'd like you to do is start with the tip, just the tip, thinking of a basic emotion, happiness, sadness, even discomfort. Eventually, moving on to secondary emotions. Well, if I was sad, what was making me sad? Maybe I was uncomfortable with the situation that I was in. Maybe I was remembering things that have nothing to do with this situation, but I was dragging them in from a past sadness. I'd like you to think of 5 things, and then, most importantly, write it down. Now remember, very important, 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emotions on a daily basis, and then write them down. Write them down. This will ensure new programming.